Good morning or good afternoon or evening if you didn't quite open your email this morning and chose to have a line instead. Welcome to day one of Waking Up Your Q&A. Now, just to give you a little bit of introduction as to what I expect you guys to play a part in the next 14 days and things that you can do to prepare right from day one to make the most of this next 14 days and get the best out of your questioning techniques between now and day 14. What I am promising to give you is an email 6 o'clock every morning that will come through that will give you some hints and some tips, some information, some knowledge, some of my understanding and perhaps my experiences of asking questions within our lessons to get the best out of our pupils. What I'd like from you is a little bit of open-mindedness, a little bit of confidence and perhaps even bravery to go and try some things that might feel very alien and very strange to you, but need a little bit of practice, need you to just take that first step. And on the surface of it might sound like a very strange question to be asking somebody, but I will explain to you the reasons why it's quite important that we are doing and saying things in a particular way, and what then of course you do with that kind of response that you potentially are going to get from your pupils, and just see how different it is to your current Q&A style, if you like. So I need a little bit of bravery and a little bit of confidence from you guys. I also need you to have a pen and paper ready to take some notes. I also need you to have some way of potentially recording yourself. Now, you're not having to put this out on YouTube, you're not having to send it to me, you're not having to do anything else with it. Nobody needs to see this. This can be as simple as you turning your iPhone, your smartphone round and pressing record. Obviously make sure that you're legally doing that on your lessons, or even just record it audio, so if you don't want to know that there's a screen there. But you're going to find it really informative to have some way of recording at least a part of some of your lessons, because I need you to begin to listen to yourself. Now, this links in very well to your day one exercise that I want you guys to do. So the first thing that we're going to do is look at the reasons why we ask questions. Now, as human beings, we are naturally inquisitive. We don't like to have unanswered things. We want to kind of complete sequences and have a bigger picture of what goes on. So our brains are naturally a questioning kind of brain. That's why we have got to where we've kind of got to. But it's not very often we actually sit back and have a really close look at why we ask questions. So if I was to ask you guys now why you ask questions in your car, the chances are you'd think about it and you may come up with one or maybe two reasons why you mainly ask questions in your car. Now, after a lot of extensive research, a lot of reading, and a lot of passion about this subject because I think it's fascinating, I have the 15 reasons why we ask questions. Now, this isn't just necessarily within our cars. This is questions in our everyday life. So the reasons why anybody might ask a question about anything. And there are 15 reasons. Now, if you can think of a 16th, I'll be delighted to hear it. But I think you'll probably find that majority of questions in life in general go down into these 15 reasons. So you will find the 15 reasons in this email that is being sent to you. What I want you to do is either kind of replay this video and listen to it again and write them down, or print it off from the email that you have got this morning and take a note of it, because this is going to be your task for your day one. Now, the reasons we ask questions, these are the 15 reasons why we ask questions. 1, to inquire about knowledge. 2, to eliminate confusion. 3, to cause somebody else to feel special or important. 4, to guide a conversation in the direction we want it to go. 5, to demonstrate humility to another. 6, to enable a person to discover answers for themselves. 7, to gain empathy through a better understanding of another's view. 8, to influence or alter someone else's opinion or view. 9, to begin a relationship. 10, to strengthen a relationship. 11, to humbly show we have knowledge on a specific topic. 12, to stimulate creativity and idea generation. 13, to gain a person's attention. 14, to solve a problem. Or 15, to reach an agreement or to agree to disagree with clarity. So those are the 15 motives, if you like, behind why we ask questions. Now, you may have listened to me read out that list, you may look at it again yourself, and you may already have been thinking, yeah, I probably use that as a main reason for asking questions in my car. Have a listen again, have a little look, print them off, and your task for today is to put a little tick or circle the top 3 reasons in that list that you think that you ask questions in your car. So sitting here now in bed this morning, 6:10, have a little think about the top 3 reasons why you think you are mainly asking questions in your car. Now, once you've spent a couple of minutes kind of thinking about that, thinking about your most frequent, most common questions that perhaps you ask and the motives behind that, do the same, but this time think of the bottom 3. So again, ring or circle or star, the bottom 3 reasons in that list that you believe are the motives behind the reasons why you ask questions in your car. Now, it's really important that you do this on day 1, and it's really important because you need to have some kind of understanding about the basis that you believe that you're coming from now. So before the next 13 days of information and ideas and techniques get given to you, have some understanding about you now in car, and the motives behind the reasons why you are doing what you're doing. Now, you may find it's harder than you think, because actually, when was the last time somebody said, think about you and think about the motives for the reasons why you ask questions? So actually, to have that kind of mirror turned on you and ask you to do something like this, it does make you kind of reflect a little bit about why we're asking questions. And it's not very often we actually ask ourselves that question. Why are you asking questions? So that is your task for today, to sit here now, ring your top 3 motives and then your bottom, your least likely motives for asking questions within your car, and just have that there. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to find a way of recording yourself. So I want you to find a way of either audio or visually recording yourself, either on a smartphone or turning your in-car camera around. It doesn't have to be for all your lessons today. It doesn't have to be for every lesson today. It could literally just be for 10 minutes on 2 of your lessons. But just find a way of recording yourself so that this evening, when you get home, re-listen to your own lessons, take your little list, and every time you hear yourself ask a pupil a question, see which category this falls into. So see which category you thought that you were asking that question for. So were you asking that question because you were genuinely inquiring about a pupil's knowledge, or were you asking that question because you were wanting to stimulate creativity and generate some ideas, for example? But just have a look. Every time you ask a question, just have a listen to that and a look at the list. And actually, you may be surprised that the reasons why you're sitting here this morning thinking about the motives behind you ask questions, the reasons you actually do are not in your top 3, or perhaps even your bottom 3, that you thought they were. So again, a bit of self-reflection about your current practice so that you have a baseline on day 1 for starting off this 14-day kind of exercise we're going to do. So there's your task. Have a look at that. Ring your top 3 motives for asking questions in car. Ring your bottom 3 reasons why you might ask questions in your car. Then go off and listen to yourselves tonight. So play it back tonight. Now, obviously, if you don't have a way of recording yourself, if you don't have even an audio of doing that, what I want you to do is in your car, really focus on your questions today. And every time you hear yourself asking what you think is a fairly natural question for you in your car, make a little note of that, because I would like to say remember it, but you won't remember the kind of questions that you're asking. But make a little note of it so that you have that visual thing at the end of the day to see what your top questions are, so that you can rank them against these top 15. That's your task for today. It will all make a little bit more sense as we kind of go on. But as I said, just go off and take a closer look at the motives behind the reasons why you are asking questions. And welcome to day 1, and get ready to do a little bit of experimenting over the next 13 days now. So I'll speak to you tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Focus on the questions and do a little bit of homework. See you tomorrow.